day, you want to run out front as early as you possibly can.
Well, you're absolutely right, Larry. Let's see who gets to start today.
Well, the gate has dropped, and the first moto at Hangtown is underway, and they pile up in the back part of the track. Let's move the camera over. There it is. Ray Somo and Lance Smale. Somo rider number 30, Smale number 36, getting together to talk things over. Meanwhile, Damon Bradshaw, just a little bit further on up the track, had his problems. He's going to start at the back of the pack. It's going to be tough to catch this guy, Mike Kiedrowski, who's being chased by Buddy Antunez in third place, the local favorite from Pollock Pines, California, Team Honda's Steve Lamson. Right now, though, it's Kiedrowski, the action on the track for the number 2 position.
Well, Kiedrowski's out setting the pace right now. As you can see, the track's up and down hills. It's got a lot of grooves in it, and they have to pick their lines. They want to make sure they get both wheels inside the grooves. They're just working the right. Kiedrowski's setting a mean pace right now. He wants to try and break loose.
Well, continuing with that thought, Jim, the riders that are behind Kiedrowski are going to do everything they can to stay with him, because you know, if they get to battling amongst themselves, they're going to lose a little bit of ground, and Kiedrowski, taking advantage of a clean track, is going to hustle his Kawasaki way out front. Then catching him in the later stages of the Moto would be just about an impossibility. Now here comes Jeff Stanton. Right in front of him was Rick Ryan. Stanton has got his hands full. He's going to have to pass about 5 guys if he wants to get up there and contend for that number 1 spot.
Well, he's going to have to move, and he's going to have to move quick, because like you said, if Kiedrowski gets out in front, he's gone. He has a clear track to work with. Stanton's got to eat everybody's dust and worry about making other lines to pass.
Well, we'll find out if Stanton is able to get that job done, or if the pass can be made by Lamson when we come back. Here's the way they stand, and stay with us on Cycle World. Welcome back to Prime Network's exclusive coverage of the AMA National Championship Motocross Series on Cycle World. We're at Hangtown, Northern California, where we're watching round 4 of the championship series. Rider number 7 on Team Suzuki's entry is Guy Cooper. Cooper, though, not a factor in this one, but Cooper is one of the most enjoyable riders I think you'll ever see on a racetrack.
He's got to be the best rider to watch out there. He's just phenomenal the way he gets away with a lot of the stuff on his bike.
Yeah, his forte really is jumping. We're not seeing a lot of that action. It'll be fun to see him in this section. That was Mike Kiedrowski, who's running up front. Here's the battle for the number 2 position. Lamson makes the pass. He's been chasing Buddy Antunez for the past several laps. He finally got the job done, has taken over the number 2 slot. Now, in almost his backyards, he's from nearby Pollock Pines, California. The question is, can Lamson catch Kiedrowski?
Well, it'll be interesting to see. You know, Lamson's coming off of a broken leg from last year. He won the event here in the 125 last year, so he's got plenty of experience here, Larry.
Yeah, that leg was a factor in the early going of the season, and it made a lot of folks wonder why Team Honda tapped him for a factory ride. So we put that question to Steve Lamson. Why?
I think a lot of it, 91 when I was riding on the Peak Pro Circuit team, I did a lot of testing with Dave Arnold and for the pre-production bikes, and I've in the past I've been really good at testing. So I think a lot of it was they wanted me on the team for a lot of testing, get the bikes good. I get along with all the guys really good, and basically, just starting off in the 250s, Supercross, and I've done pretty good at some of them. So I think he, figured that I'd get better and thought I had a lot of skill and maybe a little bit of both, testing, and thought I'd be there right at the top too.
Bottom line is, Steve Lamson is a fine representative, and he really works hard to better himself on that motocross track. Right now, running in the number 2 position, Mike Kiedrowski right in front of him. He's doing everything he possibly can to reel him in. Meanwhile, back in the pack, Stanton is emerging, and now he's challenging Buddy Antunez for the number 3 slot.
Yeah, Stanton's making a charge right now. He's there he goes right there for the pass on Antunez. Just flat out jumped him.
Yeah, he got the drive off that jump is what it looked like to me, and had just a little bit more power, a better line. We're going to go back and take another look at this in just a second, and you can point out where he got that power from. But now it's Jeff Stanton on the move as he's taken over the number 3 position, and he has Lamson, his teammate, and Kiedrowski just a short straightaway in front of him. In fact, you can see them right there doubling back. Jim, how'd he do it?
Well, what happened here, Antunez drifted up a little bit high, made a little bit of bobble, and I think Jeff capitalized on it and knew that he could drive off the jump a little bit. Here he just flat flies right past Antunez.
That's part of being a factory rider, knowing where your opponent is going to be. And probably where you think he just might mess up. Jeff may have set that up a lap or two earlier. Now Guy Cooper is getting into the act. Guy Cooper, rider number 7. Antunez had dropped all the way back to 4th, and here comes Guy Cooper, and Cooper wants a piece of Antunez.
Yeah, I think, like you said earlier in the show, Larry, Antunez is coming off an injury, and I think maybe he's just hasn't had the pace. He's not used to running this pace for 35 minutes.
Yeah, well, he's better get used to it in a hurry, because Guy Cooper is breathing down his neck, and Guy Cooper, first season ever on a 250 machine. He's been primarily a 125 rider outdoors, and Cooper is in no mood to mess around. He has hinted, I say, at retirement. He refuses to say yes or no, but the hints kind of say probably this is his last season.
There you go.
Inside, and Cooper, there was no room there. I don't know where he found that pass.
Well, I think he made the room. He just flat moved Antunez out of his way and said, I'm going to the front, and you can work your way back.
Cooper has hinted that it might be his last year. He didn't want to make it official because he didn't want people to feel sorry for him, and he didn't want people to think that, hey, he's got to win out here now, and he felt that if he made that announcement, then he might even slack off. So he's left the door open. Says, maybe I'll come back next year, maybe I won't. Meanwhile, behind Guy Cooper, in fact, behind Buddy Antunez, a battle raging as Mike LaRocco has come from out of the pack. Yeah, he had a terrible start. Now he's challenging for 6th place. That's currently held by Brian Manley.
Well, that's his trademark. He always seems to get bad starts here in the Nationals. Whoop,
oh, there he goes.
Yeah.
He picked off one more. He made a good move there on Manley. He takes over the number, let's see, that would be the number 6 position, dropping Manley back to 7th. LaRocco is really on the gas, and you pointed it out. He's done that throughout his career.
Yeah, he's got to make moves. Anytime you get a bad start like this in National, you only have 30 minutes to work up. If you come up on a rider, right when you come up to him, you have to pass him and move on. You have to concentrate on moving to the front. That's what LaRocco's doing right now. He's riding aggressive.
Yeah, I would think that by moving that quickly, the rider does not have time to set up, does not have time to block you, whereas if you continue to follow him, he knows you're back there, and he's going to stay in front of you. So the front-running positions are set for the drag race to the finish. LaRocco is in 6th, Kiedrowski out front. Stay with us. We'll see how it comes out on Cycle World. Welcome back to National Championship Motocross. We're watching the battle for the number 5 position. It's Buddy Antunez on the red motorcycle, a Honda, and here comes Mike LaRocco, who has cut a wide swath through this pack to take over the number 5 position. He's passed Antunez, and now he'll go toward the front, where, coincidentally, his teammate is leading this race. That would be Mike Kiedrowski, and I think, Jim, you'll agree that teammates are the toughest guys to get along with on a track.
Well, I think Mike LaRocco needs to ask Kiedrowski how to get starts, because if he got a start, he'd be up there battling with Kiedrowski.
That's a good point. LaRocco's never known for getting a good start. Always has to come from out of the pack. Earlier, we asked him about his teammate.
Well, I think we have a pretty good relationship. The people at Kawasaki, they make us all feel the same. So it's not that we're going out there racing each other. We're going out doing the same thing, for Kawasaki and racing everybody else. If it comes down to, we are racing each other, that's, it's on the track. We're doing our jobs is to race and to win. So I think with me and Mike, things are real good.
Well, there's another pair of teammates, Jim, that in just a few more corners are not going to get along well at all. Jeff Stanton trying to put the moves on Steve Lamson, and he did. He got the drive off that jump, took over the number 2 position. So now the defending champ is out front with his teammate Steve Lamson doing the chasing, and Lamson's not going to like that at all. And Lamson, I think, will work awfully hard to try to rebound. I don't think he wants to settle for that number 3 position.
Well, it's interesting. Stanton also passed Antunez in that same spot. I think Jeff likes that jump. He's real aggressive off of it, and it's been working for him. That's where he's been making his passes at.
Can Lamson come back? That's the question.
Well, I think he can. It's a matter, I think you want to study his lines and see exactly where Jeff's going. There he looked over. He's looking to see how far the other guy is behind him. So I think he's just going to lay back, study his lines, and then try to make a pass later in the race.
Let's go back and take another look at that pass that Jeff Stanton put on his teammate Steve Lamson to take over the number 2 position.
Well, here it comes up here. It's the same thing as Antunez. Lamson drifts a little wide. Jeff squares up underneath him and just drives a lot harder off the jump. He's just up and way far. Steve actually is going to move over on him. I think he sees that it's Jeff and kind of decides not to do it. Maybe he's going to square up underneath him right here, but he didn't quite get a good enough drive off the corner.
Yeah, that's a good point. There we're talking about teammates giving way just a little bit to teammates. Meanwhile, Mike LaRocco continues his charge. He is just past Guy Cooper, rider number 7 on the Suzuki, just past Cooper to take over the number 4 position. Now, Cooper, he gave way reluctantly, and it held LaRocco's charge up considerably. Meanwhile, the guys out front, Jim, were streaking away from them. The question would be, LaRocco moving as fast as he is obviously going, does he have time to catch them?
LaRocco's definitely moving up fast, and he does definitely have enough time to do it. You know, you have 35 minutes out here to work, and I think LaRocco's the fastest man on the track right now.
I think so, too. He's got that momentum going in his favor, and now he's pulling Cooper along with him. When he made the pass, Cooper picked up the pace. Had they've been running at that pace while Cooper was holding him off, then they would have been up there already. But when you start blocking a guy, when you start worried about getting past, then you're going to slow down just a little bit. That's not Cooper's normal style, but it is a normal tendency to do that.
Well, here we got another battle, Larry, for the 6th place between Larry Brooks and John Dowd. It's interesting to see Dowd working his way up from a bad start. You know, he won here 2 years ago.
Yes, he did. In completely different circumstances. You recall the track was underwater. Seems like we went through a monsoon. In fact, they only ran one moto.
And Larry Brooks goes down.
So Dowd inherited one more position, and he didn't have to work very hard to get it. Brooks cooperated by just sliding out. He's back up. He's running again. No harm done. He did drop a place in the standings there, but fortunately he got back up. Here it is again. What did he do?
Well, he's out of shape here going into the turn right here, and it just looks like he might be a little tired. Just the front end just washed right out from underneath him.
Yeah, it looked like he got it back under control and was going to make that corner all right, but he just ran up into that soft stuff, buried the front wheel. I don't know, maybe he grabbed a handful of brake when he shouldn't have.
Or maybe he just lost a little concentration, Larry.
Well, that's a distinct possibility. Larry Brooks has crashed a time or two in his career. Always rebounds, though. Here's a guy that has not rebounded at all well today. He started the moto with a crash in the first corner. He's up to the number 20 position, but, boy, that's not where he should be. He should be up inside the top 10. He's had ample time to get there. Well, look at that. Look at that. He's just not riding well at all. He's stumbling in the middle of the pack, and Damon Bradshaw, one of the best riders in the world, is just not putting it together. As a matter of fact, he's about to get lapped. The guys are coming up behind him, and they're going to lap him if he does not pick up the pace, and that would be an embarrassment to Damon Bradshaw.
Well, I think an embarrassment.
Look, there's the blue flag right there.
Yeah,
see, the guy's telling him, he's saying, move over. The guys are coming up behind you. Don't get in their way. If I'm Bradshaw, I'm embarrassed. And look, Dag Boyson says, well, we'll move over after I go ahead and get around you. And he took advantage of Bradshaw moving out of the way to make the pass. Meanwhile, up front, here come the Chargers, 3rd place, Pollock Pines, California, Team Honda Steam Lamson, and the crowd is behind this guy here today.
In defense of Damon Bradshaw, Larry, you know, we don't know if his bike's broken or maybe Damon's hurt himself.
Well, that's a good point. I guess I was a little bit harsh on him there. Meanwhile, at the front of the pack, Mike Kiedrowski is taking the white flag. He'll have one more lap to go. Here it is, white flag waving, and boy, he's happy to be seeing that. And I still have to think that Bradshaw's going to be happy to see it, too, because if the bike is not working, if he's not working right, whatever it might be, he'll want to get this moto over. Kiedrowski has had it his way. Took the lead at the opening gun, and, man, he has done nothing but put distance between himself and the rest of the pack. Behind him, he's being chased by the defending champ. And look, Kiedrowski waving at the crowd. He's pumped. But he's being chased by the defending champion, Jeff Stanton, who charged from out of the pack. He's the guy that really I thought this series would belong to. Not turning out that way. Here comes Steve Lamson. Look at him. Boy, he's happy, isn't he?
Yeah, it's got to be a hometown favorite here, finishing 3rd like this, coming off of a broken leg last year. It's a great performance for Steve. It's his best finish this year on the National.
Yeah, he did. We started talking about that crowd being behind him all over the track. They're hollering, they're shaking their hands at him, they're waving their shirts that are off in this hot temperature, and Lamson has responded. He's turned in a great ride. He won this event on a 125cc, and who knows, it could turn out that today he'll win it on a 250cc. So we'll just wait and see how this one turns out. The second moto, Kiedrowski obviously going to win
this one walking away. He's slowed the pace now. He's circulating around the racetrack. He acknowledges the crowd every once in a while. Most of them, as I said, are starting to chant for Steve Lamson, who's finishing third. There was the checkered flag. Mike Kiedrowski brings it home, the winner. And take a look at the finishing results. It's Kiedrowski, Stanton, Lamson, LaRocco, and Guy Cooper in that order. Meanwhile, my partner in crime here, Jim Holley, a former racer himself and has been in that victory circle, is now going to go down, or is already there, I should say, to visit with Mike Kiedrowski. Let's hear what they have to say.
Great ride, Mike. By our count, it was about a 15-second lead. How'd you do it?
Well, I just got a good start. You know, I was just waiting for that hole shot, and I got it, and just kind of rode my own race. I knew Lamson was back there. I knew he was fast in practice, and just kind of rode my own race and, you know, concentrate on being smooth and not sliding out and stuff, and I think that's what paid off.
You're really not sweating that hard. You must have got acclimated to that heat. How was the heat out there?
It wasn't really that bad. I thought it'd be worse, but, you know, it just went easy, and when you ride like that, you're out in front, it's easy, so you don't sweat as much.
Great ride. Good luck second moto.
Thanks a lot.
The all-new Geomax MX34 is the latest result of Dunlop's ongoing development with the help of top motocross pros. The all-new Geomax MX34 is the new industry standard for soft to intermediate terrain. Experience the advantage. Ride Dunlop.